What is going on, guys? Today we are in the middle of Team of the Year and we have got all the SBCs for you. Let's have a look who you should be completing and who you should be avoiding. So we have got the start. We've pretty much got most of the winter wildcards left, bar from Havertz and I want to say Martinelli. There might be one or two more, but I'm pretty sure we're there with everybody. We have seen the departure of Mbappe as well, so we have now got a little bit of leeway of where we go with it. We know that the Liga Player of the Month is going to be Aubameyang coming out very soon. I believe it should be this week, so it will be interesting to see what price and rating we are going to get for him. He could be a big win if he is cheap. But we do have plenty of Player of the Months. We have flashbacks, we have moments, we have Bruno, Davies, Morgan. There is a lot to go with. So let's start off with the Winter Wildcards. These are now coming towards the end. We've got Balotelli, who's got 7 hours left. I still think he is a very good card nonetheless. If you are watching this before he has gone, for 40,000 coins, I would say he's a must complete. Even if you have packed every Team of the Year known to man, he is still a very good card to have for later on, potentially as a nice evolution at the minimum. If he doesn't fit your team, 40,000 coins for him isn't a bad deal for him. We then have Mbappe. I'm not a big fan of, to be honest. We've got 31 hours left for him. As you can see, every day we're going to start to lose one. But Mbappe, for me, I'm going to say nothing else to complete. I don't think he's necessarily terrible, but he is one that I would say now at this point, I wouldn't really mess with too much. We then have Immobile, lovely striker. For me, he's a not complete. As much as he's only 90,000 coins, for right now, I'd rather go with the Balotelli, half price, and then work on my strikers elsewhere. If you've already done an if you've already done an Mbappe, oh, it's Monday morning. If you've already done Mbappe and Eusebio, you don't need another striker, where I think with Balotelli, even though Immobile could have the same argument of an evolutions later on down the line, Immobile for me is more likely to get another card rather than Balotelli. Diatta, nice card, relatively cheap. Again, another one that I would say is probably good value. I think he's one of them ones. He might not be a must complete now, but 36,000 coins is definitely great value for him. To be fair, is Balotelli there as well then? I'd say good value then. Yeah, I think if that's the terms of it, when it comes to must complete, your team wouldn't be the same without him, I suppose. So good, great value is where I'd go. We have Alisson, still got 5 days left. Very big SBC still. For me now, I would be going nothing else. If you've not done him by now, I think you're probably set that you probably won't complete him. I just think 600,000 with all of the SBCs we're getting at now. We've still got Conte to come. We've still got Sauer to come. And I believe there is a few more that have either not been leaked yet, but will come out in the very, very near future. And the final one from Winter Wildcard is Johnny Stones. Easy enough. So then we move on to Player of the Months. These have got a few days left, so La Liga's still got 14. We've got 17 for Bromby, the Eredivisie Player of the Month, 21 for Solanke, 21 for Pulisic, and also 27 for Wirtz. Wirtz, I think, is good value for him. He may not be the best card in the world, but I do think in terms of 44,000, 88 rated card, over Team of the Year, it's going to be very easy to craft that one out. Pulisic, as much as I'm not a massive fan of the card, I don't think in-game he plays incredibly. It's a nice upgrade to him. I'd say more nothing else to do. I wouldn't say it's incredible value, as I do think when it comes to the price of him, he could have been cheaper. I don't think he pulls a name like, for instance, how a Solanke has got the English and striker tax. I don't think Pulisic should have that one bit. Bromby is naturally going to be good value. Or is he actually? No, he'll probably be nothing else to do. He's 36,000 for an 86. As much as he's got some relatively nice stats, I don't think that's incredible, because we could have seen him at 20, 15k. Let's face it, if that card was on the market, he would literally be about 5k at best. And then finally, Solanke's coming in at 75, and that is kind of where I see the Pulisic difference. Solanke is definitely a better value in my opinion. Prem, striker, English, they always have that Prem tax on them. He may not be the #1 striker, I know this. He's not going to be in everybody's teams, but when it comes to the stats, you can't argue with him. We then also have, we have the La Liga Player of the Month as well. That's coming in at 90,000. For me, If your team's looking like this, then I have the place for you. Head over to U7Buy for all your coin needs. They're cheap, fast, and reliable, but make sure to use JT11 at the checkout for 6% off all of your coin orders. I would say don't complete him, mainly because there is an evolutions that can pretty much get you there with him. I think you could argue nothing else to do because of Team of the Year, but I don't think he's going to enhance anybody's team regardless. We then have Danny Welbeck still. He's coming in. I want to say he's still got a few days left as well. He's got 6 days left. 87 striker. Again, he's kind of like Solanke. I think 66 most definitely is not bad value for an English striker in the Prem. Normally we see them at a massive, massive price difference. Lloris, I'm pretty sure, has only got 3 days left at 114. For me, I've played against him. I've used him. He's okay. I don't think he's a complete game changer. For a 91 keeper, I'd say he's definitely decent value at minimum, but I don't think he's a must complete in terms of this. If you are grinding Team of the Year very, very hard, more than likely you should end up with a Team of the Year goalkeeper. That normally is how it works. A lot of the time, I'm not saying every time, because I guarantee this is the year I don't get it. We have Ruben Neves, is definitely a must complete, 87 rated for 15,000. That is fodder at its absolute prime. We still have Sterling and also Gavi, not Pedri. If you've been on the channel, you know what I'm talking about. We've got 4 days for Sterling, so that's going to take us to, so it'll be 3 days tonight, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It isn't going to take us all the way to the full Team of the Year being out, I don't believe, because if we have defenders tomorrow, that'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Could they be out on Thursday? I've not even seen the time. I don't think there's 3 days unless they give us honourables on the Thursday and then full team Friday, which is kind of where I'm going with. If we do get the full team on Thursday, he's definitely grindable. If it's not, it depends on what packs you've opened. He's still coming in at 560,000 for both versions, and Gavi's coming in at 214. I personally would say, for me personally, I would put Sterling in the no. It just is what it is for him. Whereas Gavi, I'd say nothing else to do. I don't think he offers too much, but 200,000 coins of fodder is going to be a lot easier when we've got 11 days left. The full Team of the Year grind will be in full flow, so he should be really easy to complete. Then we have some of the Team of the Year ones. We have a Bruno Fernandes at 850. We have Alphonso Davies at 840. And we have an Alex Morgan at 500. Now, in terms of this, none of them have the double play style plus. Is what it is. I'm kind of used to it. Alex Morgan, for me, the value is totally off. Totally off. Because the main thing for me is, if we go over to this screen, we look at Alex Morgan at 500,000, SBC, whatever you want to call it, fine. But we have got a finesse shot plus, and we have the 90. So a double upgrade for 125,000. Both same, both 4-star, 5-star. 4 pace, brilliant. But you are paying 380,000 coins more for a double upgrade, no double play style plus, no weak foot or skill move upgrade. For me, I would always go with that 90 rather than go with this SBC. It's just what it is. I don't think she's worth that value, in my opinion. Very, very let down by her. Then we have our man Bruno Fernandes. Very expensive. Now, in terms of him, I'm going to take my bias hat off because naturally I want him to be. I want him to be a very good card. He's going to be phenomenal. In realistic kind of ideas, pace-wise, average. Shooting, decent. Never going to argue. Passing-wise, very good. Dribbling, decent again. I think composure at 87. It's not awful. But you've got to remember, this card is coming in at 850,000. That is very expensive for a card that is decent in some areas, not incredible in the others. And yes, you could argue past and present United, past and present Portugal. That is fair enough. If you're building a specific team, then yes, he is definitely worth it. But when we go into just generic cams, there's so many that are on that level for that price. Like we look at it. So if we go down, we've gone into the cams, so let's go under the 800k because we're gonna prove a point. So Team A group stage Bellingham, again, he's gonna be more in game if anything. What was his? He's a 4-star as well. So if we go one down here, there is so many cards of that level. Like even arguing, I know defending probably isn't quite the strong suit, but even pace wise, a 4-star, 5-star, 600k for KDB. I berated this card. I do not like Kevin De Bruyne other than a Team of the Year and Team of the Season, as I think the stats, the way they increase, just make the card so much better. So how could I sit here and say Kevin De Bruyne is definitely not worth it, but for a 4 pace increase and a bit more defended, Bruno's worth 850. I just can't. Again, when it comes to it, if he had the double playstyle plus, would be a different option. For me, Bruno, I wouldn't say he's a completely turned off one, but I would say nothing else to do at a minimum. Now, Alphonso Davies, he was coming in at what, 830, so very, very similar. And again, with Alphonso, I think he's a little bit different in the sense of what, it depends on what your team is. Because we've had Baka, we've had Havertz, we've still got Ashley Cole, and we've had Lodi from what I remember as the top left backs in SBCs. Each one of them would be a great replacement or a great substitute instead of Alphonso. All of them were a hell of a lot cheaper. We've got Baka coming in at about 160, same as Havertz. I think Lodi was about 80,000. Granted, with Lodi, it was a hindsight because he's now upgraded, so we had to get him at like 84, 85, whatever it was, and now he's 88, 89, so that is what it is when it comes to that one. But Havertz and Baka, phenomenal. They are brilliant left backs, so I would say Alphonso, unfortunately, again, is going to be nothing else to do. I don't think he's a go and get him done straight away. Now we have some icons, so we are on, let's have a look at what we've got on the lowest. So we've got 19 days for Zidane, 24 for Eusebio, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So we've got a long time with these icons. It means they are practically done with the icons once Sauer's out, and then we'll get some more players. They'll let the icons deplete, and then they'll absolutely slap it, because all of these icons here have been out within like a relatively small amount of time. So naturally that seems to be the way that we go. We get an absolute onburst of icons and then they slowly disappear. We get a couple in and then it goes onburst again. I'm kind of hoping they do that, because that actually is a lot better. It means I can pick and choose. I don't have to complete George Best straight away, because I know there's going to be another one. They may deplete it a little bit. He's still got a whopping 9 weeks to go, so there's a lot of time. So let's talk about Georgie Best first, because he is the very, very first play style. Let me rewind that again. The very first player with a double play style plus. Now, I'm not a massive fan of him, like in terms of the double play style plus is nice, but technical, I don't really use too much every now and then. And first touch is one of them ones. It's decent enough. I'd rather that than press proven as we go with it. But 1.8 mil. Decent card. Now, there's quite a few people that don't like him, and I think there's arguments for and against. I don't think the double playstyle plus takes you over the edge for any other card. So if you look at Ian Wright, if we look at, I'm trying to think if there's any other right wings. If you look at, is that all the right wings? Okay, so it is just Ian Wright at the moment. In terms of the difference between them, with Wright, he's naturally only got one playstyle plus, which is fine, but it is quick step. Now, I personally prefer that. He's a 10 for the price, is 600,000 compared to 1.8. Stat-wise, we're looking similar in some aspects. As we go through the whole shebang, then obviously George Best is going to be better. Pace-wise, very similar. Shooting-wise, George Best does win by 5. Passing-wise, that is where Wright falls down. But again, I'm not necessarily massively fussed when it comes to a passing winger, as long as they can shoot and get the cut in. Dribbling wise, Best wins by 5, and then we've got the the 5-star 4-star on both of them. So when it comes to it, there really isn't that much of a difference between the two. So it's an argument, are you going for the double play style plus? Are you going for the Team of the Year design? What are you wanting this icon for? Now, if I'm going to quick burst all of these icons, we have got Zidane. I still think he's an absolute must. I do think Sauer will be very interesting to see what A, her stats are, and B, her double play style plus. I don't know if that's been fully leaked yet, but that's going to be an interesting one to see. I know Mia Hamm is looking fantastic. I can't remember what they were, but I'm pretty sure it was like rapid and power shot, or it was either rapid power shot or rapid finesse shot or quick step power shot. It's two incredible ones, and R9 got stuffed. Eusebio, I still think is incredible. Same with Hullet. Again, Maldini is up there. I would say if we go to the newer icons, we've obviously got Zico, we've got Henry, and also we've got Carfu. Carfu, I think, is a must. 560,000 for an absolute endgame right back is perfect. Literally, you could go in net, Lloris or Schmeichel from the SBCs, Carfu at right back, Maldini, Blanc. These are only SBCs from Icons predominantly. Left back, we go Baka, Havertz, Ashley Cole if you really wanted to, or Alphonso Davies. You go in the middle, you go Zidane, you could go Hullet, you could go Sauer when she comes out, even Conte to be honest. Right wing, we could go with a George Best. Left wing, trying to think, we could go, for instance, Mbappe if we really wanted to, because then we could go Mbappe and then go someone like Henry and also Eusebio up front. That is a full SBC team that is probably, to this point, one of the most meta that you can get in its entirety, even with coins. Unless you're going for the R9s, you're going for the top-end Mbappes, the top-end Ronaldos. That is incredible of what SBCs can do. George Best, though, if I'm going to really put him in, I'm going to put good value for the double play stop plus. They could have gone higher with him. I just think he might not be a complete must complete just yet. I think Ashley Cole, especially with the other left backs, I'd be wrong to put him in the same as Alphonso higher, because I do think with Baka and Havertz, they were cheaper. They were a lot cheaper. I know Ashley Cole's only 600 for an icon. That's not bad, but I guarantee we'll finish one of these and Roberto Carlos will come out. We have Henry. I think he's a phenomenal value, 800,000 for the 91 striker. Zico is definitely on the ups of a must complete. I love a 5-star card. And even if you've already done Zidane, I know it's crazy to think you could put one on the bench, but having that level of a team is just, it's mind-blowing of what you can actually do with it. It is very good to have substitutes as well, but you could argue between the two of them. As I personally play the 4-4-2, I don't like having two very attacking orientated centre mids. I'd rather have a Zidane, a Hullet, or a Zico and a Hullet. Then one of them would be on the bench and come on at half time, naturally. Bobby Moore, I don't think he's worth it in the slightest. We then have Keane. Again, Keane, I don't think he was mad. He was 180k. He's not great. He's not like crazy value, but again, I think you probably would go for something else. Trezeguet, I think, is decent value for 90,000. Don't think that's terrible at all. Same with Suker. They're cheap enough to at least put them into the team. You've got a different icon from them, and that's really about it. They might go into a specific team, but they're definitely not going into a main team. Same with Luis Hernandez as well. I'm pretty sure he was, 98,000. You could get all of them done very easily with the grind that's going to happen tonight for the packs, and then on Friday when we get everything. Ian Wright, he was a little bit more expensive, wasn't he? He was 600. I think he's a good card. I definitely say he's got to be there. In terms of value, if we're putting George Best in there, Ian Wright's got to be there as well. And finally, Del P, another expensive one coming in at 600. I personally don't like the card. Personally, he's just not. He's not made for my style. If I'm gonna be brutally honest with him, he's good and he is a very good player, but he just doesn't fit what I personally think an SBC should be. But let me know down below who you're gonna complete. Who is your highest priced SBC you have complete? And I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.